And I also posted the most recent 4 classes, so I think there might be close to 40 classes on the YouTube channel, and they have descriptions too. If that helps you, hopefully it does. Okay, coming to our mat. Find a seated cross-leg position, something that's comfortable for you. And if you'd like to work a little bit on lotus, you can place one foot up on the opposite thigh. We'll be here for just a minute. So listen to your body. And I'm trying to work a little bit on lotus, getting some stretching into my hips, but also my knees and my ankles. So maybe take a few breaths. Begin to get yourself settled. Eyes are closed. Taking these next few moments to become aware of what you're bringing to the mat today. Maybe some anxiety, tension, tiredness, excitement. This is also a good time to consider an intention for your day, and especially an intention for your class of how you want to show up. Begin to deepen the breath, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose. Working at getting that inhale nice and deep. And the exhale slow, long, drawn out. Check into your posture, extend the spine in an attentive but relaxed state. And imagine yourself with each inhale pulling energy up from the earth into your body. And with each exhale, pushing that energy to the farthest reaches of your fingers and toes. Allowing the breath to naturally lengthen and deepen. The face muscles to soften, the jaw to relax. And let's start putting that breath into the belly. So we'll really be focusing on the lowest part of our lungs. Being mindful of how different it feels to use the full capacity of your lungs. Most of us day to day only use the top 1/3 of our lung capacity. So we're missing out on a lot of healing, energizing oxygen. And if you'd like to, you can place your hand right on your belly so you can feel it expand with each inhale. And tighten it, contract it with each exhale. Expand with the inhale. Tighten, contract with the exhale. Lengthening the breath. Maybe you're starting to feel a little different in your body with the energy. Maybe your mind is becoming a little more awake with more oxygen. And if you'd like to, you can bring your left hand to your chest, and let's bring the breath into the chest. So expanding the chest completely, imagining each rib separating, stretching from the one next to it. filling the chest. You might feel your shoulders lifting a little as you inhale, tightening, contracting on the exhale. Deep breaths, long breaths, relaxing breaths. We'll take one more deep breath in the chest. We'll bring the breath up into the throat, inhaling through the nose. You might notice the temperature of the breath coming in, nice and cool. Maybe hitting the back of your throat, the roof of your mouth, and warming on the exhale. Keeping yourself relaxed. Focusing on the breath, keeping the thoughts neutralized. One more breath here in the throat. And then we'll inhale in the belly, the chest, and the throat. So it'll come up through the throat to the chest, to the belly. Exhaling belly, chest, throat. Inhale, throat, chest, belly. Exhale, belly, chest, throat. Inhale, throat, chest, belly. Exhale, belly, chest, throat. Continue that pattern, lengthening each breath. We'll take one more complete breath. And you can release your hands. And if you're in lotus, you can stretch your legs out a little bit. We'll stay here in a seated position. Find a comfortable cross-leg position. Hands or wrists resting on your knees, extending your spine nice and tall. See how tall you can get your spine. Pull your ears away from your shoulder, lengthening, reaching the top of the head, the crown of the head toward the ceiling. And then on the exhale, pressing the shoulders down. This time we'll lift our shoulders up on the inhale, lifting them up, shrugging them up as high as we can get them. Exhaling, pressing them down. Inhale, lifting them. You can keep your eyes closed. Exhale, pressing the shoulders down. So coordinating the shoulder movement with the breath, inhaling as we lift the shoulders, exhaling as we lower them. And let's bring a clockwise rotation in. So our shoulders are going to come forward. On the inhale, up. And on the exhale, drop them back and lower them. Inhale, bringing them forward and up. Exhale, pressing them down. Inhaling, lifting, exhaling, lowering, and we'll rotate in the opposite direction. So we'll go counterclockwise, bringing the shoulders back, up to the ears, forward, down, back. Really getting some movement into the shoulder joints. As we age, it's important to keep mobility in our joints because motion is lotion. Motion is what lubricates the joints. Okay, fingertips to the tops of the shoulders, and we'll sweep our shoulders, our elbows forward, reaching them up on the inhale and down on the exhale. So elbows come forward. Get them as close together as you can, pressing them up and reaching them back, squeezing the shoulder blades together on the exhale, inhaling up, exhaling down, and then let's reverse it in the opposite direction. So elbows go back, really feel like that tension between the shoulder blades when you're pushing them back. Always wanting to find the farthest reach possible for the elbow. As much movement as you can into these joints. And we'll do one more and lace our fingers together, palms to the wall in front of us, pressing forward. This time you want to dip your chin to your chest and pull space between both shoulder blades, really opening up the top of the back. You'll notice with a deep inhale, you can increase that stretch, pressing the chin to the chest. And lace your fingers together behind, pressing your fist to the wall behind you, working to getting the arms straight, opening up the chest. It might help to lift the chin a little, open into the throat, keeping your spine nice and tall. And let's press our palms forward one more time. This time we're going to exaggerate it a little bit and we'll drop the left ear to the left shoulder, opening space between the right ear, right shoulder. Deep breath. Release that face to neutral and then dip the right ear to the right shoulder, pulling space between the left ear and the left shoulder. And then dipping our chin to our chest one more time. You might want to put a little arch in the top of the back, really finding that deep stretch. And place your wrists back to your knees. And we'll do one complete clockwise rotation with our chin, one complete counterclockwise rotation. So push that chin right up to 12 o'clock. Press it far into 1 o'clock. And 2 o'clock. And at 3 o'clock, try and press the chin behind the shoulder, sweeping down to 4 o'clock. 5 o'clock, chin comes to clavicle. 6 o'clock, chin comes to chest. 7 o'clock, chin to clavicle. Hopefully this is feeling really good. 9 o'clock, pressing the chin behind the shoulder, reaching up to 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, really put that chin up to the ceiling and reverse the rotation back to 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Remembering the breath, deep, long, steady, chin to clavicle, chin to chest, chin to clavicle, pressing the chin back behind the shoulder at 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, and the face returns to neutral. Let's gaze over our left shoulder. So make sure our spine is nice and tall, our chest is open, a little bit of tension between the shoulder blades, extending our spine as long as we can get it, and gaze behind our left shoulder. Pushing the chin behind the left shoulder. Using the breath. And release. And gaze over the right shoulder. And release. Gaze over the left shoulder. Release. Gaze over the right shoulder. Release. And we want to work a little bit into the hips. So let's bring our right knee forward, right centered in front of our hips if you're able to do that. Modify this according to your flexibility. And if you would like to, bring the left leg over the right. And if you'd like to, or if you're able to, if it's in your practice, stack your left knee right on top of your right knee. And we'll sit here for a moment, working on these hips, really stretching into the hips. You'll notice this left hip wanting to lift, and your work will be to press that left hip to the mat, allowing the muscles to soften and release. A lot of this is mental work here. And this may be your work right in this pose if you'd like to continue with a flat chest, flat spine. Lean your torso over the knees. You'll feel a nice deepening stretch into the back of the hips, into the glutes. And again, keep that left hip from lifting. We continue to soften into the pose with each exhale. We'll take one more deep breath here. We can release. We'll straighten our legs, put a little bit of movement back into the hips. You might feel some real tension in the knees, in the hips. And this time we'll bring our left knee in front of us, directly in front of our hips, crossing the right leg over the left, stacking the right knee on top of the left. So find the pose that's working for you. It might be that crossing the leg over is the extent of the flexibility. And if you find your edge, that point where you're working but not to pain, that's where you're getting the most benefit. So be patient with your body as we're working on some of these we haven't done for a while. Noticing the right hip wanting to lift up, pressing the right hip, the right sitting bone closer to the mat. Finding softness and relaxation here. Using that breath to release tension and tightness. You might want to adjust a little more into the pose, pressing the right sitting bones down. And if you're ready, hinging from the hip with a flat spine, folding the chest over the knees, stretching deeper into the glutes, deeper into the hip joint. Consider using the breath to soften the body, to create more relaxation in the body. Noticing, especially when we're working on hips, how easily they want to tighten when you're stretching them. And it's a lot of mental work to allow the hip to release and relax. And one more breath here. Release on the inhale. And we'll come to a table pose. So our wrists are below our shoulders, stacked right on top of each other. So it goes wrist, elbow, shoulder, stacked right on top of each other, and then hips directly below, or knees below the hips, lifting space between the shoulder blades. Really lift that top of the spine up, tuck the chin into the chest. Always when we're closing, we do it on an exhale, inhaling to open and broaden ourselves. So inhaling up into cow, exhaling to cat. Inhaling to cow, exhaling to cat. And we'll do one more. And we'll start working on some strengthening here. So staying in our table pose with a neutral spine, trying to get that spine nice and flat. Right arm goes in front of us, left leg goes behind. Working at getting a parallel line from our fingertips to our toes, parallel to the floor. Tuck the navel in, so you're tightening the core, remembering to breathe, and release. Left arm straight, right leg straight. Trying to push the fingertips to the wall in front of you. Push the toes to the wall behind you. You can flex into the glute. Tuck the navel into the spine. And release. This time we're going to push the right arm up and the left foot up. So inhale, push the right arm up as high as you can get it. Left leg as high as you can get it. Push the knee up to the ceiling. Squeezing into that left glute, tucking the navel into the spine. Remembering the breath. Working on some balance here and strengthening. And release. This time, left hand goes up, right foot goes up. Inhale, push the hand up, push the foot up. See if you can get them up a little bit higher. Remembering the breath. And release. This time our right arm will go out and our left leg will go out. And you can keep the left leg bent or you can straighten it. Sometimes if I straighten it, I get a nice cramp in that left glute that doesn't feel so good. So I'll just do what is working for my body. You do what works for your body. Inhale, right arm goes out, left leg goes out. Trying to keep as much height as you can in the arm and the leg, as much steadiness as you can in your body. Navel tucked in, and release. One more, this time left arm goes out, right leg goes out. Inhale, left arm out, right leg out. Trying to get height, pushing the arm toward the ceiling, the leg toward the ceiling. Navel into the spine, holding steady. Notice you're building some heat here. And release. Okay, we'll do a few more cat-cows at your own pace. If you've accumulated some tension in your spine with those exercises, this might feel pretty good. And reach the arms out in front of us. Or an extended puppy, fingertips crawling to the wall in front, pressing the sitting bones to the wall behind you. And then we'll come up to our knees and work on a camel pose. Spine is nice and tall. We want to keep our glutes tucked in nice and tight. Our pelvis, our lower tummy is pushed to the wall in front of us, and we'll take our arms up, reaching them up, bringing them back, sliding them into our back pockets. And once they're into the back pockets, pressing into the hips, squeezing the shoulders together, squeezing the elbows together. And if you're interested in lifting the chin, really pushing into the hips. Working on the breath. And release to extended puppy one more time. And we'll do camel once more. And you can stay in with your hands to the back pockets, or you can lower yourself to your heels, but do not twist your spine to lower. Always keep the spine nice and straight to lower yourself to the heels. So tall spine, chest open. Inhale, lifting the arms up, bringing them back. You can press them into the hips, or you can continue to bring them behind to the heels. And open up the chest and the chin. Squeezing the glutes. And release. This time we'll come into a down dog. So our hands come to the mat. We'll lift our hips. Start to bring some stretching into the backs of the legs. So you can pedal your feet back and forth. I'm going to take this blanket off so I don't slide around on my mat. Staying in the down dog here. Side to side. And you can press your chest and your head between your arms. Work on pressing the heels to the mat. And then we'll come into a plank. So you might want to be in modified plank or a regular plank. Modified plank, your knees are to the mat. Regular plank, they're up. And we'll pause here in this plank, work on our body. Mostly we want to try and keep from our shoulders to our heels nice and straight. Navel is tucked into our spine. Then we can drop our knees, drop our chest between our hands. So our chin and our chest come between our hands. And tuck the elbows into the rib cage. The laces side of the feet come down and we'll slide up into a Cobra pose. And we'll pause in Cobra. So our toes are together, the lacy side of our feet are down. Our shoulders are pulled down away from the ears. Our elbows are bent and tucked close to our side. And we're remembering the breath. And lift up into up dog. Up dog, straight arms. Lace the side of the feet are down. Chin is up. And we'll flow through, lifting the hips to down dog. Stretching out that lower back. Drop the heels to the mat. Take a few breaths, get a break here. And coming back to plank. Hips are lowered. Holding our plank. Navel tucked in. You might be at your knees. Drop the knees and the chest and the chin, keeping the elbows tucked to the body. Pause here for a moment. Lace the side of your feet come down and we'll slide up to Cobra. Resting our belly on the mat, elbows close to our ribs. Opening the chest to the wall in front of us. Elbows are bent. Breathing and lifting to up dog with straight arms. And up dog will probably feel like a good break because you're using your joint to support your body as opposed to the muscles. And then we'll flow through, lifting to down dog. And we'll do one more flow through. So rest in your down dog, stretch your hips, open up from side to side, get yourself nice and comfortable. And we'll come back into our plank or modified plank. So if you're in modified plank, you're on your knees. Plank, hold it tight, drop the knees, drop the chest and the chin to the mat. And we'll slide through, so lacy side of your feet come down, elbows tucked to the ribs, and we're sliding, lifting. This is a lot of work. Continue to up dog. Really reaching up, straight arms, flowing through to down dog. One last nice stretch in down dog. And then let's walk our feet forward.
as close to our hands as we can get them, and we'll find ourselves in a forward fold. So if you need to, knees can be slightly bent, hands can be a little bit farther out in front of you. Find the form of the pose that's working for your body. Working on stretching the back of the hamstring. So lift the sitting bones up into the air. So those two bones right at the bottom of your butt, we want to lift them as high as we can get them to the ceiling. And then our hands come to our shins. Pressing into the shins. Strengthening into the back of the upper arm. And we'll continue to lift ourselves back to standing. And we'll begin to work on our warrior poses. So if you need a little drink of water before we do some warrior work, go ahead and do that now. And I like the warrior work because we're continually working on getting some stretching into our body, mostly strengthening and balance. So we'll do a warrior one, and we'll have our left foot forward, our right foot stepped back. So you can find a nice wide stance here. My camera is a bug-eye camera, so it doesn't show the real length of my mat, but I think my mat is probably about 7 or 8 feet, maybe 7 feet long. So I've got a nice wide stance here. Both feet are facing the wall in front of me. My left knee is bent, but it is not over my toes. Working at trying to get my back heel to the mat. And we'll inhale, bring our arms into it for warrior one. Arms are straight, reaching forward, reaching up. Paying attention to how still your body can be in this warrior pose. Take one more breath and then we'll step forward to release it. And then we'll come into the same warrior, this time with the left leg step back. So step that left leg back. Get yourself a nice wide stance. Right leg is bent, spine is nice and tall. And if this is causing some stress in the low spine, you can close your legs in a little bit tighter together. Just find the form that's working for you. Inhale, reach the arms up. Let's pay attention to what our core is doing. Our core should be engaged all the way from the rib cage down to the hips. And you can do that by pulling the navel toward the spine. And you can take the pelvic floor and lift it up like an elevator. You should feel some real dynamic work happening there. Again, we're working on warrior one, finding complete steadiness in the pose. One more breath here, and then we'll release it. Okay, step it out. We'll continue with warrior one and adding options to it. So this first one, we'll go from warrior one and we'll do knee dips from there. So our right leg steps back this time. Making sure that our torso is nice and tall, chest is open, finding our warrior one. And we'll take our right knee and dip it straight down to the mat. And lift it up. And we'll do 8 of those. So that was 1, 7, 6, remembering the breath, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. And then back up to warrior one and step forward to release it. Okay, same thing, dropping the left leg back. So step that left leg back. Both of our toes, both of our feet are facing the wall in front of us. but they're not stacked right in front of each other. They're separated like on railroad tracks. Okay, we'll find our warrior one with the right leg forward, dropping that left heel to the mat to stretch into the back of the calf. And we'll drop the left knee straight down. 8, 7, 6, keeping the chest open. 5, remembering the breath. 4, 3, 2, and last one. Nice work. And release it, step forward, and we'll shake it out. Okay, this time we're going to step the right leg back, coming back to warrior one. And we'll exhale, squeezing our elbows to our chest, our right knee to the chest, and we'll extend forward into warrior three, which looks like this. So I'll show that to you and then we'll do it together. So we'll squeeze our knee and arms in and then shoot the arms forward and our back leg back, finding some balance. And if you need to with this, it's a little bit tricky. So if you need a little support from the wall or a chair, you're welcome to do that because this requires a lot of balance. And sometimes just being close to a wall can give you some mental support. So it's not nearly as intimidating. Okay, coming back, right leg steps to the back. We're gonna find ourselves back in warrior one. We'll take an inhale, and on the exhale, our knee and elbows come to our chest. And now we hinge forward and bring the arms in front of us and the leg behind us. Finding parallel line from fingertips to our right toe. If you need to, you can have a hand on the wall. One more breath. Release it. And shake it out. Okay, and left leg steps back. Finding warrior one with the left leg back. We'll take a big inhale, and on the exhale, our elbows and knees come to the chest. So inhale, exhale, bringing our arms and knees to the chest. Inhaling as we're reaching forward, working on strength and balance. And release it. We'll step it out. Okay, this time we'll come back into some lunge work from warrior one. So coming back up to the top of the mat, stepping our right leg back, finding warrior one, and we'll lower ourselves into a lunge. And we'll do a warrior one in a lunge or a crescent lunge here. And then we can lift, put our hands on our knees, lift our back leg so that we're in a high lunge here and rotating our chest to the right side. You have your hands to your chest if you'd like to. We can bring the left elbow to the inside of the left knee. And you can stay here. Or if you're interested, lower your left arm to the mat, raise the right arm to the ceiling, and you can gaze up to the right fingertips. A lot of strengthening happening here. Okay, release. And you can bring the arm back down. Hands to heart center here. Hands to the mat. Stepping forward. Back in a forward fold. Give our legs a little break here in a forward fold. And we'll come back up. Ready to work on the left side with that. Okay. Deep breath, left leg steps back. And we'll find our lunge right here. Or our warrior one. And then we come down into the lunge. Place your hands on your knee, lifting that left leg back up. And then hands to heart center. Rotating to the left side of the mat. And you can stay here or lower the right hand to the mat. Lift the left arm up and gaze up over the left fingertips. And release it. Hands back to the mat. Bring your hands back to heart center. And I think I messed that up. So bring your hands back to the mat and we'll step forward. Back to our forward fold. And we'll bring it up. You should be feeling a lot of fatigue in your body right now. We'll do a few warrior three with alternatives, and then we'll end up our class on the mat. So if you'd like to take another drink or walk around a little bit, you can do that. I really like warrior three. It seems like a very strong pose, but it's not as intense as some of that warrior work that we did before. So with warrior three, our left toes come to the top of the mat and our right foot steps back at a 45-degree angle. Our right leg is nice and straight and our left leg is bent, keeping the left knee behind the left toes, and our chest is rotated to the long side of the mat, depending on your low back. You want to just be really careful with any of that twisting. If it helps you more to keep it forward, you can keep it a little further forward. And then we'll gaze over our left fingertips, trying to get our arms parallel to the floor, lowering that lunge a little bit farther. Holding strength here. This time we'll take our right arm, slide it down the left, and lift our left arm up. So we're reaching down the right arm, reaching down the right leg, left arm reaching up. And then we'll windmill the arms forward and straighten the left leg and bring the hands to the mat. And again, you can gaze up to those right fingertips. Bending the left knee and coming back to our warrior two. Okay, let's rotate to the opposite side of the mat. This time our right foot is going to be facing the wall in front of the right foot, and our left foot will be at a 45-degree angle. Straight left leg, bringing this right knee a little bit lower, but behind the toes. Arms are straight, parallel to the floor, and we'll gaze over the right fingertips. Holding strength here. And let's slide our left arm down the left leg, straightening the right arm up to the ceiling. And then we'll windmill our arms forward, straightening both legs, bringing the right hand to the inside of the right foot, opening chest to the long side of the mat, gazing up over the left fingertips. One more breath, and we'll release it. Coming back to a warrior three. And step out of it, shake it out. And I think that is enough of that. We'll come down to the mat. And we'll come a few more things before our final relaxation. You're like me, your legs are probably feeling quite fatigued. Got some good heat built in my body. We'll come back to the mat in staff pose. And we'll work on our staff pose for 2 minutes. Okay, both of the sitting bones come square to the mat. So if you need to move out some of that flesh from side to side, you can do that. Legs are straight. Press the back of the knees into the mat. Flex the heels. Pull the kneecaps into the thigh. Resting the hands gently to the sides of the hips. Our weight is not on our hands. Our pelvic floor is lifted up. Our navel is tucked in. Our spine is lengthened. Chest open. Slight tension between our shoulder blades. Lifting out through the crown of the head. Finding softness in the muscles and bones of the face, relaxing the jaw. Let's come back and pay attention to each part of the body. Our feet are flexed. The backs of our knees are pressed to the mat. Kneecaps pulled up toward the thigh. Hands resting gently to the sides of our hips. Pelvic floor is lifted up. Navel is tucked in. Spine is lengthened, nice and tall. Chest is open. Slight tension between the shoulder blades. Lifting out through the crown of the head. Softening the muscles in the face. Lengthening the breath. Checking back into your core, making sure that you're engaged. Really quite a dynamic pose when all the pieces are working together. Okay, let's release. And shake it out a little. And we'll come into a forward fold with our legs straight. Inhale, reaching up. Up as high as you can go, flat spine, hinging from the hip, reaching forward, trying to keep the spine as straight as possible, not hunched over, lowering the chest to the legs. And when you're ready, you can support your spine with your hands to your legs, to the mat, and then you can allow yourself to soften into the fold. Never soften into the fold unless you're supported, unless your spine is supported. We'll stay here for a couple of minutes and notice that each exhale allows us to come a little bit farther into the pose. So make necessary adjustments. Concentrate on relaxing and loosening tension with each exhale. Take a minute to notice where you're holding tension, possibly in your hands, possibly your neck, maybe a furrowed brow or a tight jaw. Certainly in the backs of your legs here. If you're interested, you can work on The chin coming in closer to the chest. Stretching into the back and the neck in a little different way. Allowing yourself to soften each exhale. Okay, inhale as you come out of the fold. And then we'll come down onto our back. And resting a little bit in Shavasana here, relieving some tension that you may have developed in the forward fold. Palms are up, feet are relaxed to the side. We'll take our right leg up. We'll stretch into the back of the right leg and do a little bit of core strengthening here. So with the straight leg, as straight as you can get it, reach down onto the calf as far as you can reach, keeping the left leg straight, left foot engaged, right leg straight. Begin to bring the right leg closer to the chest. Breathing into the stretch, allowing a little bit more, releasing of tension, and then release it. Inhale, bring the leg closer to the chest. Try and keep the left leg straight, the right leg straight, pulling a straight right leg closer to the chest, and release it. Reaching down under the calf again, we're going to take big circles with our toes. We'll go clockwise and then rotate counterclockwise. And then point and flex. So pointing the toes to the ceiling, flexing the heel to the ceiling, pointing the toes to the ceiling, flexing the heel to the ceiling, pointing the toes. And then we'll pull our chest toward our leg, bringing our face a little closer toward the knee. And release. And we'll lower the right leg to the mat as slowly as possible. And we'll take about 2 minutes to lower that leg. So at any point when you're to the ground, you can bring it back up and lower it one more time, or you're welcome to rest in Shavasana. We've really done a lot of muscle work today, so you might feel real comfortable and relaxed just resting with both legs to the mat. And as you're lowering, keep the right leg straight and keep it in alignment with the hip. Don't let it fall out to the side or come over toward the left side. Keep the leg straight, the heel flexed. This great core work. So to get the best benefit, work on tucking that navel into the spine, lifting the pelvic floor up toward the belly. Hands are resting gently, trying to find relaxation in the shoulders and in the face.
We have about 30 seconds left. Both legs are to the mat at this point. And rest in Shavasana, palms up. Allowing your legs to completely relax. Then we'll work on the left side. So straight leg, right leg, straight leg, left leg. Let's bring the left leg up. And then reach down with our hands as far as we can onto the calf. And you might have a slight bend in your leg. And you might have your hands up towards your thigh, depending on your flexibility and where you're at today. You might also notice some shaking. I always get shaking in my left side. So we want to inhale. On the exhale, we're going to bring the leg a little bit closer. And release. Bring the leg a little bit closer one more time. Be stretching into the back of the left leg and release. Bend it a little bit. Gotta bend it to keep it from shaking. Okay, we'll take our big toe and make circles. Big as we can make them, clockwise and counterclockwise. And then let's point the toes, straighten the leg, point the toes, flex the toes. Remember, we're pulling this leg close to us. Point the toes, flex the toes, one more point, one more flex, and then bring our chest to our leg, pulling that leg in a little bit closer. Remembering to breathe. And then releasing from it with a straight left leg, our palms resting gently to the sides of our hip. We'll take 2 minutes to lower the left leg to the mat. Remembering to keep it in alignment, straight down from the left hip. Focusing on the breath work. Keeping a steady flow of oxygen coming into the body. Keeps those muscles strong. Allowing you to get more work and more benefit out of them. We're about halfway there. It's really been an intense class. You should feel a real sense of accomplishment at this point. We've got 30 seconds left. And if your leg is already to the mat, enjoy this nice, relaxing rest. Taking deep breaths. And both legs are to the mat. Let's find ourselves in Shavasana. And we'll do a nice body scan, relaxing each area of our body from our head to our toes for this final relaxation. So take a few minutes to get yourself completely comfortable. Settle yourselves in. And pay attention to what your body feels like right now in this moment. Remember how it felt an hour ago when we began our class. Hopefully you're noticing that anxiousness, tension is relaxed. You're feeling more present in your body. This is a good time to think of the intention that you set for your practice today and for the intention you set for your day. See where you're at with that. With these last few breaths to settle ourselves in to the final relaxation. I will give you the name of a body part, and I want you to imagine as we name the body part, a bright, softening, glowing relaxation coming into each body part. And allow that body part to soften, completely relaxed into the mat. We'll start with the crown of the head, the forehead, the brow, nose, cheeks, mouth, chin, jaw, back of the head, back of the neck, throat, top of the shoulders, armpits, upper arm, elbow, lower arm, wrist, back of the hand, palm, and each finger. Bathed in light, completely supported by the earth. Shoulder blades, top of the back, middle back, low back, chest, belly, pelvis, hips, glutes, the entire body from the hips to the crown of the head, lying heavy and relaxed onto the mat, completely relaxed. Thighs, knees, shin, calves, ankles, top of the foot, soles of the feet, and each toe. Bathed in relaxing light, lying heavy on the earth, completely relaxed. In your mind's eye, imagine the entire form of the body from head to toe, glowing, softening, resting, relaxed. All the parts working together to create the body, the form that you live in. And take a moment to offer yourself gratitude, to offer your body gratitude for what it helps you to accomplish each day. With the next few breaths, begin to bring small movements back into your fingers and toes, your wrists and your ankles, arms and your legs, stretching them, bringing them back to life, reaching over the head, moving from side to side. And when you're ready, return to fetal position for a few moments. And then a comfortable cross-legged position. And I think for our last little bit here, take your right hand and place it to the top of your left arm, and your left hand to the top of the right arm, and offer yourself comfort, safety, security. And finally, hands to heart center. I offer gratitude for joining me in class today. And my wish for you is brightness and hope. Namaste. Thank you for joining today. I think I might end up having a nap. My body feels really tired today, but thanks for getting through that with me, and I hope I see you on Saturday. Enjoy your day.